joining us, members of the co-op community, for an evening of fun. Maybe some laughter, maybe some nodding of heads, any of that. But it's all going to be here. We are not on Union Street between 6th and 7th Avenue. We are in the coziness of our own home, relaxing, sitting back, trying to get some blankets on because it's a little bit chilly on some days. But you know, if those of you like me have the turmeric tea nearby, you're going to be just right. My name is Imani. I am a co-op member. And I am loving the fact that everyone is coming on in. We are at 60 participants already, and we have just started at 1 minute in. This is so extremely exciting. I look forward to having everybody chime in. You can drop your questions as soon as you see who is on the playbill for this evening. Drop, you like, what? Really? They're really here? They're really showing up? Ask your questions early. It's no problem because we're going to be going through the chat and checking out what is going on. What are they going to do? What are they going to tell us? How are they going to bless us for this evening? How are they going to lift our spirits? How are they going to make us think? As you're coming in, hey, you know, if you're actually a co-op member, let us know. Oh, I see. Oh, please know, this is a little early housekeeping. We do have a recording button on. We would love to see your face in this space, but if you choose, because maybe, I don't know, somebody may be looking for you. If you choose to have your camera off, that's okay. But we want you to enjoy this tonight. Let me tell you why we're recording this, because since we haven't been on Broadway, we haven't been off Broadway, we have amazing people who are just waiting to show their gifts and their talents, and they want a recording that even while in the shutdown, they have a record of the genius that they have. So bless us, join us in this space. We're going to delight you with our talents. I see all the people that I see in the eyes. If you see me in the eyes, give me a wave. Just give me a wave. Oh, I see you. Beautiful. We got people outside. Somebody has a really great background. I like that background vision, so-and-so. Lovely. Excellent. Okay, I'm scrolling. All right, some people decided they want to be incognito. No problem. All right, Brother Ross, I see you. Yes, excellent. Let's get started. We are at 67. Amazing. All right. Once again, my name is Imani. I am a 25-year resident of the co-op. And I have been asked to be your MC for tonight to bring everybody together under one digital roof in order to share amazing experiences and creativity. All right, tonight's event, let's get us started here. This is called, as you saw on the program, BlackVoices, showcasing Black creativity at the co-op at a time of critical dialogue and transformation. It's been co-organized with the Fund Committee and the Diversity and Equality Committee, also known as the DEC, merging our missions of hosting fun activities for community with a more deliberate lens towards diversity, equity, and representation. This event, as you see in the upper left-hand corner, will be recorded. If you don't want to be referenced, you can turn off your video. However, if that's not an issue, please remain on camera so our presenters can see you as they perform for you. It's okay to perform to like a black screen, but they love to see the smile on your face. So fellow Fund Committee, raise your hands, give a wave. All right. And Diversity and Equality Committee members, raise your hands, give a wave. So examples of events the Fund Committee has hosted in the past include a virtual open mic, an annual kids variety show. The last one actually took place last weekend before the shutdown. They probably knew. And a holiday card making session. If you would like to be on our email list for an occasional event notice, please indicate so in the chat and we will find your email in the registration list later. Okay. The Diversity and Equality Committee, which is the DEC, is committed to equal access and agency at the Park Slope Food Co-op. They provide workshops for squad leaders and staff. They investigate and address bias complaints, and they explore the diversifying of the current membership and produce events to help unify the co-op. They're happy to have collaborated for the first time, and it will not be the last time, with the Fund Committee to present a taste of the talent and intellect of our fellow co-op members. They appreciate the gracious consent of tonight's performers and presenters, as well as all those who are joining us as audience members. So let us know in the chat. Hello? Okay. Let us know in the chat if you'd like to be on the DEC mailing list. We also have an email list for Cooperative Black Affinity.
Yes, you started to say mama at the year old.
Hello?
Earlier.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Let us know in the chat if you'd like to be on the DEC mailing list. We also have an email list for the Cooperative Black Affinity, through which Black members of the co-op can be notified about opportunities to dialogue and strategize around issues of race and bias. We're really excited to showcase Black creativity at the co-op, and we thank everyone who signed up to be present. We have an impressive lineup tonight. All right, so some of you have already been welcomed into this space, and so you know when we get into these spaces, we have to have group norms, AKA housekeeping. So everyone has been muted upon entry to minimize sound disruptions for the performers. Please remain muted. We don't want to create any disruptions or weird feedback echoes for the presenters, and we'll ask you to unmute yourselves if there's time at the end of the showcase for some comments or questions. If you want to give somebody a digital shout out, encourage the folks and drop your comments in the chat. The other way that you can do it, so it says on the paper to give like the silent wave, but you know, like back in the 60s and 70s, when we were in like a cool spot, what did we do? We snapped it up. So we may not be able to hear it, but we can see it. Let's give some snap it ups. Practice with me, come on, give some snap it ups, right? Because they want to just see, right, there you go. Now, you know, if you do that all together, it sounds like rain, right? You knew that. Okay, let's keep going. So since shared audio in Zoom can be awkward, we can do that. Keep your eyes, keeping your video on for us is an act of support for the presenters. So sticking around to enjoy the full group will be appreciated. Audience members can switch between gallery view and speaker view during the performance, and it's in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Make sure that you take care of yourselves. We know that it's 7:30. If you need like a little BRB moment, it's okay. Just come on back. Okay. So we are about to begin. Who's ready? If you're ready, I need a thumbs up. I need a thumbs up. If you're ready, you're ready. Oh, listen, I got my tea. I got my fuzzy slippers on. I have my lumbar support because, you know, for real, we getting up there. We got to be comfortable. So let's get ready to go. All right. Our first up, our first on deck. First, I know you guys like saw the lineup. Let me just run through the lineup and then let's push the live button and get started. First, we will have Third Realm Visions, Jacqueline Johnson, Mark Thompson, Denise Beckford, Hemamset Ngaza, Brother Jiwe, Sister Kim Brandon, Anu Prestonia, Asajifo, Sapphire, Brother D, and then wrapping us all up and circling right back to where we started from, a 360-degree rotation. For those of you who understand that, we will close out with Third Realm Visions. Are we ready to go? We're ready to go. Third Realm Visions, if you are ready, if you're ready, it's time. Let me just give you a little intro. Third Realm Visions is a neo-fusion band consisting of a pianist, a bassist, a drummer, and of course, a guitarist. They are all presenters from the village of Brooklyn and some people from Harlem too. Guess what? They're all under the age of 25. The members of the band are Jasmine Morris on the guitar and vocals, Jason Glover on the bass, Isaiah Thornton on the keys, and Mshindi Williams on the drums. Hear ye them, third round visions.
Is it? Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay, great. Well, hello. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. As she said, we are Third Round Visions, based in Harlem and mainly in Brooklyn, the three of them. And we're a neo-fusion band creating conscious music for us and to uplift our people. So our first piece is an original called Vision from the Third Realm. Vision from the Third Realm. I'm coming straight in the melody. Thank you so much. All right, we'll be doing one more piece at the end. Thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, you can do that, but I'm gonna do this. They need a round of snaps. They need a round of snaps, a round of snaps. Thank you so much. Third round visions. Don't we just feel welcomed into this space? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So thank you for opening up the way, preparing for the words that will be spoken, the notes that will be dropped, the essences that will be fumed through these digital airways tonight. We are going to continue on our journey through their third realm, but through the Black voices who will be speaking for the masses with Jacqueline Johnson. Jacqueline Johnson is a multidisciplined artist creating in both poetry, fiction writing, and fiber arts. Author of A Woman's Season on Main Street, Rag Press, and A Gathering of Mother Tongues published by White Pine Press. Her work has appeared in Revisiting the Elegy in the Black Lives Matter Era, Routledge 2020, and The Slowdown, American Public Media, October 16, 2019. She has work forthcoming in Show Us Your Papers on Main Street Rag Press and The Langston Hughes Review. Hear ye her, Jacqueline Johnson.
Hi, greetings everyone. How y'all doing this evening? All right, I have one poem for you, and it's called Ode to Iyansa. And I'm not going to explain the poem. I think you'll figure out who she is as I read it. Iyansa, austere gates of divine mystery, which you so aptly guard, are now flung open, accepting so many from the hospitals, nursing homes, streets, and transit. The lines between the city of the living and the city of the dead, now blurred, open for quick crossings without rituals or ceremonies of leave taking and long goodbyes. Once you were content to be the keeper of secrets, wearing a rose-colored head wrap, quietly attending to the new returnees. Your legion of invisible ones, always willing to aid the living. Now the city where I live has so many dead. You have taken up residence in parking lots with truckloads of former husbands, wives, grandmothers, fathers, sons, and daughters. Keeper of hurricanes and tornadoes. In this America, your power is unquantifiable as we count lives lost. Make you stronger than you ever intended to be. Your tears flow unceasing. Fight to keep as many as you can alive. Iyansa, goddess who gives can both save us and give others a quick, merciful end. Some burn effigies to a different time, yet unborn. Ancient rivers flow up and down the blue Nile, tributary where only a hint of your power is mirrored. Bless the day you can close your gates. And I'm going to put two items in the chat, a contact email, and I just finished editing About Place Journal, and it's called Works of Resistance and Resilience. And I encourage you to go and check it out. I have 83 authors and artists.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Now we all know who Iyansa is. She didn't need to drop any name. We have visions in our own third eye. It's the person walking down the street. It's the person we step over. It's the person we kind of give like, and sometimes we keep on walking. Next time you see an Iyansa, think 3 times. Next up, someone actually asked, how do we sort of see the speaker? In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you should see either exit full screen if you're in the gallery view. There's one that says speaker view. So if you want to see that person who is presenting up close and personal, just click on that button right there, okay? Here we go. Next up is Brother Mark Thompson. Brother Mark Thompson is a Brooklyn native and a published author of Depth Without Water, which I actually have read myself. A book of poetry chronicling his life experiences and family dynamics, available on Amazon. Mark's passion for writing is rooted in integrating his truth, creativity, and imagination to create images that leave lasting impressions. This book is not for the faint of heart. You got to have a strong stomach. He's looking forward to sharing his upcoming work with you. So stay in touch with him on IG at m.thompson60. Hear ye him, Mark Thompson.
Thank you. Good evening, folks. It's good to see folks without masks. I hope that you can hear me clearly. Thank you for the smiles. I have a poem for you. All right, the title is Really? And that's it. I'd like to give thanks to the ancestors who I take for granted, and for being connected to the ancestors by Miss Serena Clary and so many other gifts. So here is Really. Where do I begin with all that has happened, as though it has happened before? Where my truth is punished, but others feel none, as though they're on another floor? Do I hold it in and implode, hurting myself and others close to me? Or do I express what's heavy on my heart, so that a piece of me reigns free? So delicate a circumstance, life and death, I am in between, never able to come awake from the horrible, atrocious dream. A nightmare, actually, to think that laws need to be in place to breathe. To think one has to teach an adult how to treat an adult is hard for me to believe. Racism is so euphemistic, with no horror in its inflection. One could hide behind a shield for years, cloaking negativity without detection. Because the first person to walk the earth and give birth to new life was Black, destroys the myth of pale supremacy and humbles pale patriarchy with tact. Add to that good people have been slaughtered simply for telling the truth. Removes the question of who is superior when treating people good is ample proof. Where lies are kept going so as to be on top while putting other people down. Do pale folks really have a problem with the existence of skin that's brown? Why not refuse to actually use anything associated with us, meaning anything that Black folks invented or created or introduced to the world with trust? Don't buy it or borrow it, use it or sing it. Just leave it alone so your flag will unfurl. Pun intended, you may be offended, but we made everything that you think you own in this world. If you sit on it, lay on it, stand on it, lean on it. From the palm of Black hands, it was grown. Melanin, oh melanin, the goldest of gold. Ancestors reign up and down, what's to be shown. No purity here, with mad faults I declare. Your intercession is the only must. Learning slow, but its direction go. For positive, melanated development, that's just. Pen down for now. I take no bow, incomplete. There is no settlement. Reparations we get when we love each other. That's the greatest investment. And that's that. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you.
Really?
Really?
Really? I told
And
you. Yes.
pardon me. And if you wish to contact me, it's markhasdepth@yahoo.com. And for those of you that see me in the co-op, you can speak, listen, respond. Thank you for hearing me.
Really? I told you, wasn't for the faint of heart. hits right to the core, gets to the point. Thank you, Brother Mark Thompson. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Give people a little reminder that if you are interested in the contact information of the presenters, it will be dropped in the chat once they are completed with their portion. Next up, now that we've had our mind stimulated, we are going to have our eyes stimulated. Next up on deck is Denise Beckford. She is presenting as a visual artist this evening. History was never Denise Beckford's strong suit, but in 2019, before this year, at 40 something years old, she took learning about the African continent into her own hands. She dedicated October, which is called Inktober for some in the online art community, to researching a different African country each day. Can anybody drop in the chat how many African countries there are? I'm going to be checking. I'm a teacher. I'm going to be checking. Some days there was not time or access for much info, but other days she gets to dive deep into a culture. Either way, at the end of the day, Denise picks an image from that country that resonates and creates an ink drawing. Open your eyes. Get ready for a nice surprise. Denise Beckford.
Ooh, oh, hi. So I see some people got the answer in the chat box. So I did. I didn't get to all 54 countries, but you know, I started last year, and some days I didn't get to do it, but you know, I did the best I could. So I'll get started. Let me share my screen. Am I sharing? Okay, so I started with the country with the least amount of people. So I started with Seychelles, and they're known for their wildlife. So I did a fish. Saint Thome and Principe. This is just a schoolgirl with her hair braided and beaded. Cabo Verde or Cape Verde, just a woman going to the market. Comoros, so they're known for the lang lang plant, which is used to, it's the base of most fine perfumes. So she's smelling the plant there. And this is, this is Djibouti. And this woman is wearing her wedding headdress. This is common there. This is how they dress for weddings and special occasions. This is Swaziland. And this is the princess. She travels to, she goes to school in Europe, I think, but she goes back home and she dresses traditionally when she gets home. Mauritius. So they remind me of the Hawaii of the African continent. So it's an island or a few islands in the east, and they dance a lot, and the dress is just very similar to Hawaii. Equatorial Guinea, schoolgirl with her hair braided and beaded. Guinea-Bissau, and this woman, the women here are, you know, usually in charge of The home. It's a matriarchal society. Lesotho, and we remember these blankets from the Black Panther movie. So it gets very cold there because of their elevated levels. So the people usually wear warm blankets and they cover their faces, and the horsemen usually dress like this. And this is a man from Gabon from 1914 with his eccentric hair. Botswana. Threaded hair of a girl from Gambia. This is me working on it. Namibia. The Himba women, they coat their hair in a paste made from ikru and like butter fat. And that's how they clean themselves. And they also, you know, coat their hair in it with goat's hair to create this style. Oops, what's happening? This is another image from there. Itria, and the women here, there are a lot of women in the military in this country. Mauritian hand tattoo. This is a symbol for protection. A woman from Central African Republic. Sorry. Shebe, no, this is a woman from Chad, and she has the Shebe hair wax in her hair. And this is my relative from Senegal. This is a waterfall in Zambia. A little girl from Malawi. Painted houses in Burkina Faso. A mosque in Ivory Coast. A Tikar man from Cameroon. This is a girl from Madagascar. A mask from Ghana. The Lion House in Mozambique. This image is from Angola, but I learned later that this woman is actually from South Africa, but this poster was made like popular in Angola during their civil war. The blue city of Morocco. This is a freedom fighter in Sudan. This was one of my most liked images from Inktober. It's so simple and I did it really fast, but this was a very important time for Sudan. And I guess people appreciated that someone from another country, I guess, could, you know, find beauty in it. This is a woman from Algeria. The national dress of Uganda. A man from the Maasai tribe in Kenya. South African house painter. A girl collecting seaweed in Tanzania. A girl with her hair twisted in DR Congo, and a man on a camel in Egypt, and Ethiopian girl and a boy here. And lastly, Nigeria, Fela Kuti.
So can
I
we
run
just
out of
pause
time?
the cause? Can you actually had 10 seconds to go. Can we just pause the cause right there? Can y'all please drop in the chat which country you want a copy of the print from? Because I called about 6. If you look in the chat, I called about 6. Sis, listen, let me get my PayPal ready. I am not joking. I have a blank wall ready for it. See, right here, there's nothing here. I need some.
Thank you. I got a little bit nervous, and some of the countries are really hard to pronounce, but I'm gonna keep learning. So
Beautiful. Do you
Thank
see?
you.
Can everyone just give her some snap it ups? Because come on, I don't have that artistic bone in my body. That's right. We need to hear those snaps. When are you having an art class, please? I'll be the first to sign up. I'm just saying.
okay.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yes. All of that. Woo! Beautiful. All right.
How do we contact Denise?
I'll put it in the chat.
Good.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And I hope we can commission you.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Here we go. Everyone take note. Good. Now that we have had our brain awakened and our eyes are full open, right? Now we need to put everything together. We're going to look at something, we're going to listen to something, and we're going to work our brains around something. Up next on deck is Brother Hamamset Angaza. He is going to share a short documentary he made about the Grow Green initiative. You know, we have a lot of spaces that really need to be greened up. He took a moment to push the live button and get his camera going and document those spaces that needed what? Greener places. Yes, I just came up with that. Hamamset is a young filmmaker born and raised in Brooklyn who has directed a variety of documentaries, music videos, and PSAs, and has worked with local musicians Tamar Kali and Jean Gray. And he's directed short pieces for DC TV's Beyond Bullets and interviewed Sean Bell's parents, Reverend Al Sharpton, and others. Hamamset's work demonstrates a true passion for filmmaking. He aspires to tell stories in all different genres, whether documentary, narrative, or experimental, and dedicates himself to showing a side of things not often explored in film. Watch ye him, Hamamset Angaza.
All right, share my screen here. Just give me a second to load. I needed to reload. Where is it from?
How many of us know people with high blood pressure? How many of us know people with high cholesterol? Right? How many of us know people who die from these things? They call us a certain type of activist. There's a term for the kind of work that we do. It's a blank justice. What kind of justice do you think it's called?
Food justice?
Food justice. There you go. One heart.
Grow Green is an opportunity for 16 to 25-year-olds living in the South Bronx to develop their literacy skills through culture, community, and environmental education. This process was really exciting because it offered an opportunity for participants to really think about how their daily lives impact their environments and what are all of the factors included in environmental sustainability.
If you don't have a decent place to live, your stove doesn't work, small refrigerator, lights are cut out, housing justice. If you can't afford to actually buy the food that's good for you, economic justice. If you don't have an environment in which you can grow good food, environmental justice. If you are in jail, incarcerated, locked up, you're gonna eat what they give you. Criminal justice. If you're not eating right, when you go to school, do you think you can sit still? No. Do you think you will be able to stay awake? No. Do you think that the food that we are getting that is highly processed may be doing things to our chemical balances in our brains? Yeah. Educational justice.
And healthcare.
What's really exciting about the process is that it was totally interdisciplinary. Every time that we met, they were able to view something, they were able to taste something, make something creatively. And through that process, I feel like they had a deepened understanding of what it means to be an environmental ambassador for your community.
The interactive nature of the project really speaks to the different learning styles of the students. We had a variety of ways that students could express themselves, and that I feel like is important to students everywhere. And they might not have a chance to experience that in other places of learning.
In the river, these are people littering.
Why do you enjoy people littering?
Because pick up what you drop.
It's really a big pollution problem up here because nobody cares about the environment, and it's not as serious to them yet as it is to other people around them who either has asthma or who can't breathe good and stuff like that. People who also are polluted by the environmental injustice. If we will all help our situation, then we will all be in a better place.
The work that I do with students or with anybody really is to try to get people to understand that we do have an impact on our environment, all of us, good and bad, and it can go either way. So much of what goes on in our lives is all about understanding the connections between things that are happening all the time, but we might not think about.
We partnered with a local educator, artist, and activist, Renee Floresca. And she came up with a concept where we would do a grocery store analysis and comparison. So we would look at the grocery stores on the Upper West Side and look at the grocery stores in the South Bronx and compare them and look at the resources for each of those communities based on their access to clean and healthy food. The students were introduced to raw vegan food. They were introduced to a whole new community, the Upper West Side. And one of our students said, I feel like my community is trying to kill me by not providing access to fresh fruit and vegetables, organic meats. And she had a very visceral response and actually ended up in tears.
I feel like we need to make an impact all over the world.
Yes. It's sad that a lot of kids are dying off of unorganic food, and make them realize that all this unorganic food is killing us.
It's gonna take probably another white community to activate the conversation, because the Bronx is so big, right? And depending on the economic welfare of the community in the Bronx, it can vary by block, and who owns their homes. Because most people in the Bronx are renters, so not much tax dollars are going into creating these kinds of opportunities for the people in the Bronx.
This particular project is near and dear to my heart because the impact and the effects of the learning and the experiences you can see immediately. The students came in wanting to have a different type of educational experience. The students came in wanting to investigate science experiments. They wanted to learn about these things. They just haven't had the opportunity. And so it's important for young people to stretch outside of their comfort zone and to challenge what they think they know and believe. It politically, educationally, and culturally prepares young people to be creative change agents in their own community.
It was kind of touchy for me because I realized I felt like the government was trying to kill us. actually cried. It was hard because I had a lot of people die from diabetes and high blood pressure, and it was hard because all the stuff that we have in our borough is just killing us, and it kind of hurts. But it taught me that there's better stuff out there in the world. You just gotta evolve from it. Get out of the area, like one of my teachers told me, Miss Sonara. You can't always stay in one area and just feed off of that. You can't grow. You need the world. You gotta see the world. And that's what I plan on doing in my life. So, thank you.
Good.
I need a sip of tea.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Did anybody like look for a tissue? Like for real? That was extremely moving. I'm a little upset though, Brother Hammond said that there are only 39 views on that. So everybody, when you drop that link, there are how many? There are 92 people here. If we take that link and at least watch it twice, we can double the viewership, which will then increase what? The social like expansion of this, like the stone in the pond to get this out. Please, Brother Hammond said, please share this so that we can take that link and put it on our own social media platforms and our own email list if this is what you intend for this, because this definitely needs to be duplicated and shared out.
Right. I think that actually might be private for my client, which is why it doesn't have any views. But I think that if it's on, I'm going to check and see if it's on my YouTube. If it is, I'll definitely share it because that would be the public platform for it. But that was the page where I upload the stuff so that they can tell me if they like it, and then it moves forward from there. So, yeah.
Well,
but I will definitely share it. Thank you.
You have the change agents right here. Those people who live in whatever community you live in, food analysis, food analysis, food analysis. Take the grocery stores to task, right? Woo! All right. We're all charged up, right? We need a little woosah moment. The person's going to bring us the woosah moment because we need to bring it on down, mellow it all out. Is going to be Brother Pierre Dillard, also known as Brother G-Way. Brother G-Way will be performing a flute piece. Brother G-Way is a retired engineer. You know there's science in music, right? It's all about science. And he's an educator, and he's now a musician and teacher of playing and making wind instruments. I'm gonna need all these people who have all these talents to host their own course or a class, please. Thank you. Brother G-Way also teaches wild Northeast herbology, foraging, and alternative sustainable life skills for the 93 people who are on this live right now. Give it up for Brother G-Way. Brother G-Way, it is all on you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful introduction. Welcome, everyone. We're all going through some very trying times now. And for the next 5 minutes, at least, I'd like to invite all of you to relax yourselves, sit back. You can even close your eyes because this is going to be a message in sound. Just relax, take some deep breaths, and for the next few minutes, be at peace. Over 2,000 years ago, African voices were echoing across the seas and on the lands of the Americas. African voices echoed over 2,000 years across the seas and over the lands of the Americas. We're now in a time of giving thanks. In another month, we'll be gathering with each other, giving thanks, sharing food, expressing our love for each other. And during this time, I'm always in mind of those people who were here before Christopher Columbus lost his way. Those people who were here living in harmony, in love, sharing this land, and sharing this land with those African voices that echoed through the Americas before Columbus lost his way. Now, I would like to offer a musical prayer. This is a prayer of hope for the future. This is a prayer of reconciliation to the indigenous peoples of the Americas who have paid such a heavy price since Columbus lost his way. So relax and pray with me for hope for the future, that we all work together in love and cooperation to address all the problems that plague not only us in this country, but all over the world. Send out that prayer as I play. Ashe. Asheo. Peace. Peace to everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I was gonna try to look up like REM sleep during this, but I couldn't even get moved. Yes, Sister Anu Prestone, that was transformative. Public service announcement of why we're even here. We're here because everyone needs a little bit of healing. No matter what skin you walked in, every single person on this live tonight has been impacted, influenced by what's happened over the last 10 months in this country and in this world. It used to be them over there on the other side of the waters, and now it's right in our backyard. It used to be that community that has or does not have, is or is not, walks or does not walk, has this coin or plastic in their pocket or does not have this coin or plastic in their pocket. And if you were breathing, every single person on this call right now is breathing differently today. Brother Jiwe, we thank you so much for giving us a moment to take a deep breath and to exhale. And yes, this is being recorded because I don't know about you, but yes, this is going to be on replay for me. Whew, sorry, I need a sip.
Can we find out how to contact Brother Jiwe?
Brother Jiwe has his information already in the chat from earlier. So we're going to repost that for you, Brother Jiwe, okay?
Very good.
Blessings. Thank you so much.
Just so you know, Sister Moitefa is one of my life angels, and she can always reach me. If anyone wants to get to me, you can just talk to Sister Moitefa. She's one of my life angels.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Sister Moitefa.
Oh, thank you so much for embarrassing me. I love you.
That's not to give respect to my brother. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you, Jiwe.
All right. So let's move through. We've had our good moment to sort of pause, reflect. Let's move through. We are going to next hear from, are you ready, Sister Kim? You ready to drop some notes, some verbiage? All right, let's go. So Sister Kim Brandon, she's going to be sharing some poetry with us. Kim Brandon is a poet, writer, and painter, letters and strokes. How about that? And a storyteller in the African tradition. She's also an activist for social justice. Bring us on through, Sister Kim. Hear ye her.
Good evening, everyone. I wrote this piece. This is a short story I'm going to share with you tonight. And I wish that it was after the earlier piece, because I'm just so chilled out now. So I wrote this piece to show the generational trauma that Black women carry from enslavement to today. And especially today, knowing that we still can't always protect our children in this land of plenty. This story is called The Quadroon Ball. Mama slapped me like she was trying to uproot a demon. She put all her might in her hand. My jaw caught it bad, bad. I fell, tripped over my own feet, and landed near my pallet on the floor. Ain't master gonna be bad enough? She cried. My head was spinning. I crawled away, mostly with my hands backwards, into the corner near the woodpile. I shouldn't have said it. I know I shouldn't have said it. I know that now. Ain't he gonna be bad enough, child? She looked at me for a long time, shook her head no, and then she said, "Get up off that floor." Mama patted a spot on the bed for me to sit. Giving yourself away is worse than having your treasures taken. Now, ain't no way around this here, girl. Stop all your double talk. He done picked you just like he picked me when I was 13. My papa sat outside our shack so Mama could talk about the ways of things. The more she talked about bodies, the more I cried. If only I knew for myself, maybe then this night wouldn't come on me with such crying spells like I was doing. Had me shaking, scared, and maybe that's how come I asked Mama if one of Miss Sarah's boys could be my first. Years ago, Brother Hicks showed us this little trick. He popped his arm right out of the socket. I ran away scared. But once I knew his trick and I saw his arms had been broken by the overseer, the arm could pop out of the socket and then it could pop right back in. It didn't trouble me no more because I had learned how broken things work. Oh, Master James broke in all the young girls. Our bodies belonged to him. I was mighty scared. All I asked Mama was, why can't one of Miss Sarah's big head boys be my first? Have him take care with me. Oh, Master James' touch, his fat, greasy belly, his old nasty, unwashed man smell, and the way he grabbed at me all the time, that made my head sick. He'd tell Master fathered kin folks that worked on the plantation, but most times they all got sold off when they reached my age. Master used Sarah's boys to breed. They say if no overseers watching, those boys could be pretty gentle with us gals. The sun had gone down. Mama rubbed a dab of Papa's oil on my arms to shine them up. You best be real quiet, mindful, and call on the Lord, Apple. You knows this life is short. We will see our reward in the by and by, remember? Yes, ma'am. Mama wiped her hands on her dress, the same dress that she wore in the fields. Don't fight him none. It'll go faster that way. She took off her head rag and tied it around my head. It ain't like we didn't know this day was coming. Mama looked at the tears rolling down my eyes. Tears were rolling down her face too. She wiped and wrapped a creased green ribbon from Papa's Bible around my wrist 3 times, then nodded it. I'll be with you. Just tug on this here, and you know I'll be waiting, child. She looked down at my bare feet. You want my shoe? No, ma'am. It was time. She walked me outside. We pulled close together, and she walked me down to Master's stables. Now you be still, and it'll end quick. Gone now, Mama said. I walked the rest of the way alone, and we still sending our children out there alone. Thank you.
I need a sip. We need a moment because some of us are having a moment right now. This is not part of the script, but for all of those who know of stories and who know of stories who know of stories, do me one favor, everybody. Everybody fade to black on the count of 5. For a count of 10, and then let's turn it back on, all right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Two, one. That was oh so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Sister Kim. I still can't give a snap it up. I just got to give you a wave.
Thank you for the fade to black. I really needed it too. Thank you. I'll put my contact information in the chat.
And these two stories need to be told. They may have been 200 years ago. They may have been 100 years ago. They may have been 50 years ago. But everybody on this call knows that at some point, that story is actually being told about 10 seconds ago. We thank you. Let's shift gears to another sister who is on the call, who's done some transformative work herself. We will hear now from Sister Anu Prestonia. Anu Prestonia is a blogger and an avid and informed reader. A natural hair pioneer, retired just last year as the founder and owner of the legendary Kamet Kink Salon. She now focuses on creating new scents for Anu Essentials, a line of natural botanicals and perfumes. From crowns to essences and jewels, let us hear from Anu Prestonia, who will balance out our mood, our peace, and bring us forward to the next stage of this journey. Sister Anu Prestonia, let us hear from her.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm a bit nervous. I was invited by my dear friend Moitef Angaza to be a part of this tremendous experience. This is not my genre. I'm not a wordsmith or anything, but she asked me to read something. And so I'm going to read from the Source of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison. I looked all through the book, and the first chapter was the one that really grabbed my heart the most, and it's called Peril. And this is for all the artists in the room and all the artists in the world. Peril. Authoritarian regimes, dictators, despots are often, but not always, fools. But none is foolish enough to give prospective, dissident writers free range to publish their judgments or follow their creative instincts. They know they do so at their own peril. They are not stupid enough to abandon control, overt or insidious, over media. Their methods include surveillance, censorship, arrests, even slaughter of those writers informing and disturbing the public. Writers who are unsettling, calling into question, taking another, deeper look. Writers, journalists, essayists, bloggers, poets, playwrights can disturb the social oppression that functions like a coma on the population. A coma the despots call peace, and they stanch the flow of war that hawks and profiteers thrill to. That is their peril. Ours is of another sort. How bleak, unlivable, insufferable existence become when we are deprived of our artwork. That the life and work of writers facing peril must be protected is urgent. But along with that urgency, we should remind ourselves that their absence, the choking off of a writer's work, is cruel amputation. It is of equal peril to us, The rescue we extend to them is a generosity to ourselves. We all know nations that can be identified by the flight of writers from their shores. These are regimes whose fear of unmonitored writing is justified because truth is trouble. It is trouble for the warmonger, the torturer, the corporate thief, the political hack, the corporate justice system, and for a comatose public. Unpersecuted, unjailed, unharassed writers are trouble for the ignorant bully, the sly racist, and the predators feeding off the world's resources. The alarm the disquiet writers raise is instructive because it is open and vulnerable. Because if unpoliced, it is threatening. Therefore, the historical suppression of writers is the earliest harbinger of the steady peeling away of additional rights and liberties that will follow. The history of persecuted writers is as long as the history of literature itself, and the efforts to conquer, starve, regulate, and annihilate us are clear signs that something important has taken place. Cultural and political forces can sweep clean all but the safe, all but the state-approved art. I have been told there are two human responses to perception of chaos: naming and violence. When the chaos is simply the unknown, the naming can be accomplished effortlessly. A new species, star, formula, equation, prognosis. There is also mapping and charting or devising proper nouns for unnamed or stripped of names, geography, landscape, or population. When chaos resists, either by reforming itself or by rebelling against the imposed order, violence is understood to be the most frequent response and the most rational when confronting the unknown, the catastrophic, the wild, the wanton, or incorrigible. Rational responses may be censored, incarceration and holding camps, prisons, or death, singularly or in war. There is, however, a third response to chaos, which I have not heard about, which is stillness. Such stillness can be passivity or dumbfoundedness. It can be paralytic fear, but it can also be art. Those writers plying their craft near to or far from the throne of raw power, of military power, of empire building and counting houses. Writers who construct meaning in the face of chaos must be nurtured, protected, and it is right that such protection be initiated by other writers. And it is imperative not only to save the besieged writers, but to save ourselves. The thought that leads me to contemplate with dread the erasure of other voices, of unwritten novels, poems whispered or swallowed for fear of being overheard by the wrong person, outlawed languages flourishing underground, essayists questions challenging authority, never be imposed, unstaged plays, canceled films. That thought is a nightmare, as though a whole universe is being described in invisible ink. Certain kinds of trauma visited on peoples are so deep, so cruel, that unlike money, unlike vengeance, unlike justice or rights or the goodwill of others, only writers can translate such trauma and turn sorrow into meaning, sharpening the moral imagination. A writer's life and work are not a gift to mankind. They are its necessity. To all the writers out there.
So I just had to put in the chat, and I think other people will agree. Can we just have you do some voiceovers, please? Some of the people who read these books, that needs to be you. That needs to be you. That needs to be you. This is just becoming deeper and deeper and deeper and more beautiful and more reflective and more charged. That's just me. If you guys feel, yeah, see, Savoy Teffa says, gone, girl. And we need to say it just like that, gone, girl. Yes. Oh, blessings and peace. This is the move that we need. This is the move that we need. This is the healing and the transformative work that we all need. Every single one here in this space. There is no DEC and fun. There's just people with hearts and with minds who are caring, who are feeling touched by this work. And we thank every single artist who is here. If some people just popped on, just so you know, to be reminded, everybody in here who is an artist has a membership in the co-op. I posted yesterday on my Facebook and Instagram that the co-op members are more than just granola. Some people still think that. We are more than just granola. We are deep thinkers who talk about fracking, who talk about the rights of immigrant workers, who talk about and discuss and protest and march and stand up and say, hey, if people are not being treated fairly, we will not hold their food in our co-op, because we have that kind of heart. And we're trying to continue to share that kind of heart for people who are being unjustly treated. And we thank you for everybody here who's sharing their gifts to that effort. All right, we're gonna take it to the water right now. Y'all ready to take it to the water? We're gonna take it to the ocean because we need further cleansing. Right now, we are going to hear from Brother Ross Osajifo. He is a Jamaican-born, shout out to Jamaica, Jamaican-born poet whose words are filled with sound and power, the raw creative energy of the universe. He's performed all over the world, from Africa, remember there are 54 countries in Africa, to Jamaica, Switzerland, and England. The author of a book of poems titled Psalms of Osajifo, Chanting Down Babylon. He was London's Farrago Poetry Society Best Performance Poet awardee in 2002. Brother Osajifo has also performed for the Harvard School of Divinity lecture series called Kingdom Rise, Kingdom Fall. Presently, he resides in Brooklyn, where he watches the world as it goes around in circles. It's actually cycles, but I just had to add that in there. I hope you don't mind. I took poetic license. And if you do not know, around June of every year, this brother is at the water, taking us all for a cleansing. Brother Osajifo, it's your time.
Yes. Can you hear me? This is truly a blessing. You know, when you have some good food and let the church say amen. This is everyone who has participated. Wow. Thank you for this. And also, I know I said a poem to Martifa about what I was going to do, but I'm just going to vibe with my spirit. The ancestors are speaking, and I'm going to vibe with my spirit. And also just want to big up a shout out to all the co-op workers, who kept everything going. Big up to you, big up to everybody, the co-op workers, all right. And I'm gonna start out with how I normally start my poem. I can hear the words of the Rasta man sing, oh children, Babylon, your throne gone down, Babylon, your throne gone down. Mr. Noir, if we whitewash the powers of the word sound that come forth from our lips, because speaking the truth in these days is like using the tongue to slit our own wrists. But we will not be afraid of evildoers, player haters of venture capitalists, branding us as terrorists. Because ever since we came out of our mother's womb, we have been blacklisted by beings who are still trying to hold us down in bondage on this celestial spaceship. And we know that it's not just because our skin bear a reflection of the dark cosmic. It is a fear that one day we will cause this economic dam to break and turn this planet into a free-for-all fishing lake. It is the fear that one day the power of the word sound will cause 0.10 catastrophic earthquake, revealing secret spell closet full of dead bones and red tape that these demons have been using to keep us from breaking through them Babylonian gate, because them don't want us to live in a world without them oppressive rule and control, a world where human beings are more valuable than opium, oil, diamond, and gold. Mr. Them can't stop the vibration of this divine word sound, because we are more than fiber optic cables carrying poetic echoes on the ground. We are the forces that tried at Moses when he rolled up on Pharaoh shouting, "Hey, dirty bumbuckler, boy, better let my people go." We are the voices of John the Baptist crying in today's wilderness, and wherever there's a microphone and a stage on this planet, like lost souls seeking salvation, we will find it and use it like Yeshua Christus, better known as Jesus, to baptize this world with fire, heal the sick, raise the dead, and send demons pigs to drown himself in the nearest river, because like Mr. Dark said, this shit is going to hurt, because that's how karma work. What do you think these mergers, bankruptcy scandals, and Greenspan federal control session is all about? If every day the bucket go well, trust me, one day the blood clot bottom are gonna drop out, because for too long these demons have been perpetrating their fraud right in our own backyard, waving them hypnotic psychological flashcard, showing us some shit that look like a butterfly and want we to believe a dog. Well, now like Peter Tosh, we're coming in hot, and we're licking them bomber clot hard, and we should have licking them bomber clot hard, and we should have listened to Bob Marley. We should have listened to Bob Marley when him tell them to them draw bad card. Yes. So if anybody wants any clarity on some of the words that I use, when you see me at the co-op in the aisle, ask me the meaning. And if you didn't hear if you didn't understand some of the lingua, some of the patois, I will, articulate that for you also. So my next piece is my squad. The name of my squad is known as One Love. But I don't know if anybody have a name for their squad. The name of my squad is One Love, and it was given to us by Marcy Garden, who has since retired. So we go. We come for 3 hours, it's a party. We work hard. We put all the work on all the makeup. And they like to work hard, so they always come back. But so this piece, I'm gonna go back to One Love. And I think what we need right now in this world, more than anything else, is love. So I'm gonna, being that we are One Love, I'm gonna echo a Bob Marley tribute that I put together after visiting Bob Marley, rest in peace, in Jamaica. And it said, "You're the natural mystic just blowing through the wind, with the 3 little birds singing lively up yourself. Bob Marley may be gone, but him spirit is still living, with so much thing to say, still keeping us jamming. Because rebel music from Trenchtown will always rock, and no crazy ballad can stop that. No woman no cry, me say the heathen asks why. You see them can hear the music of the redemption song, but the real situation, so them can't understand. So them must sing, could you be loved? And it tells us them God above while holding us down in them concrete jungles, telling us to be humble. But as Bob would sing, we not worry about a thing, because every little thing it's gonna be all right. You see, right now we just get ready for the coming of Zion train to take us to a place where we no longer have to wait in vain, because Babylon system will catch a fire. They are already hiding because of the guiltiness that rests on their conscience for causing so much trouble in the world. But small axe fall big tree. So now them are gonna cry for you and me. So Africa, unite, me say, if wake up and live, me say, if get up and stand up for your right. Get up and stand up and don't give up the fight, me say, if ride, not to ride, and don't get ambushed and don't get trapped in a 3 o'clock roadblock. And when you're riding through the road, don't to complicate your mind. Just remember that them atomic energy can't stop Jaja time, because this time them are gonna draw a bad card and them are gonna tired for see face. There's gonna be a big disgrace when we refuse to run into them rat race, when we and them are going to work it out. Because now we know how we and them are going to work it out with war. Yes, war. War in the east, west, north, and south, because until the color of a man's skin is of no more significant than the color of his eyes, we have got to say war. So who they caps with, make them wear it, because we're tired of talking blues. Tired of seeing the people and getting used and abused. So now we're coming in from the cold, and we're ready for a confrontation, and we're talking about the revolution. Fought by the real revolutionaries, just like the Buffalo Soldier of America. This time for the liberation of Africa, where not only the sheriff going to get shot and say, wicked man going to fall all in one drop, because them belly full and we still hungry. Yet we are forever praising Jaja, because Jaja live as the provider, and he will guide us through the uprising and protect us from the burning and looting. Time will tell who will be the real survivor, the oppressor, the oppressor. Come make we join together and chant the Rastaman chant. Babylon will try to tell us that we can't because their backs are against the wall. But remember, Bob Marley said them a go fall. So one love the Bob and the positive vibration. His body is gone, but his spirit lives on. So now we Jaja children must come together and make it work. We Jaja children must come together and make it work, cause we don't need no more trouble. No, no, no. We don't need no more trouble. No, no, no. More blessings.
Yes. Woo! So I don't know if somebody saw somebody in the chat who had to do one of these just to get through the piece. I need to take a sip. Somebody's taking a sip out there. We're going to join them. Woo!
Blessings, blessings.
That took me back, Brother Osajifo. Bless you. During this time of transformation, it's like we're caterpillars in a cocoon. They don't come out easily. They come out with some struggle. They come out with some fight. They come out with some punch. And as we're coming out, coming through, breaking forth, being birthed and rebirthed and rebirthed and rebirthed again into newer and better selves. All of the people who have participated so far has given us another level of life, another level of purpose, another level of opportunity to push through, to break through the walls that some idiotic people have set up. But we're going to break down those walls. We're going to break down those walls. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thank you. Thank you in the corner who's been giving me the snap at us. Thank you. All right, all right. It's time. It's time. It's time to push through another level. Push through another level. We are going to be blessed by none other than one of our co-op's own, Sapphire. Sapphire is an award-winning author of 2 books of poetry, American Dreams and Black Wings and Blind Angels, and 2 novels, Push and The Kid. And if you didn't read Push, you definitely caught the movie, either the trailer or the whole darn thing. Precious. We thank you for having her in this space tonight. Hear ye her.
Okay. I'm really happy to be here. So I'm going to read I had a long piece here, but I'm going to read 5 minutes of it. And this is a kind of a meditation. And so I'll just get started. 1 ventilator and 3 patients. A meditation on COVID-19 from downtown Brooklyn. The sirens wake me at 3 o'clock in the morning. The noise is horrible in its ceaselessness. At first, I think I'm dreaming. What it sounds like is a couple of ambulances are stuck in traffic, and the sirens are just going. There's no going back to sleep, but I'm still not totally awake as I stumble to my window, a large 6 by 8 foot window that looks directly out onto the 6-lane north-south thoroughfare that is Flatbush Avenue Extension, downtown Brooklyn. When I look out the window, the sight is hallucinogenic. The whole avenue is lit up with ambulances. On one side of the avenue, they're screeching north over the Manhattan Bridge. On the other side of the median, heading south further into Brooklyn. Not even on September 11th, when the terrorists attacked the World Trade Center, did I see this many ambulances. And unlike September 11th, when the ambulances raced for the most part in one direction, these ambulances lighting up Flatbush Avenue are streaming in all directions, south, north, some turning left on Myrtle Avenue, some turning right, the rest barreling straight ahead. Can this many people be sick? This is the beginning. This is the first night the ambulances wake me up, but it will not be the last. terror fills me. I first understand the seriousness of COVID-19 when I hear Angela Merkel addressing the German people. She cuts through the criminally self-serving messages coming from the White House and the censored and blue-penciled messages coming from the CDC. Chancellor Merkel, who obtained a doctorate in quantum chemistry and worked as a research scientist until 1989, floors me when she says that the virus will affect 70 to 80% of humankind. This contrasted drastically with what the President of the United States, a serially bankrupt businessman whose major source of income had come from reality TV, had said. We have it very much under control. It's going to disappear. One day it's going to, like a miracle, just disappear. The president knew he was lying when he said this. The virus would go on to kill over 200,000 Americans. The virus that would go on to kill over 200,000 Americans was spreading uncontrolled. 70 to 80% of humankind. I am in shock and traumatized. I'm checking in with a friend, a fitness instructor who, like many people, has lost his job due to the shuttering of the city's gyms during the lockdown. He tells me he's been tapped to work in a hospital. I'm thinking this is good. He could get in there and do some physical therapy with the patients and pick up some change till he get back to work. It's not like that, he says. What the hospital has hired him for is to work in the morgue, suiting up and transporting bodies from the morgue to refrigerated trucks. At one point, there were so many bodies, they had run out of body bags and had to use trash bags. One trash bag was pulled up over the feet, another pulled down over the head, and then the two bags were taped around the waist. And these people were then ready for their last ride on this earth, many of them to unmarked mass graves. I am numb. A study done in 2018 details the effect of how police killings of unarmed Black Americans harm the mental health of all Black adults nationwide surfaces after the February 23rd, 2020 murders of Ahmaud Arbery. Co-leader Dr. Vetemanier said, every year, more than 300 Black Americans are killed by the police, and at least 1/4 of them unarmed. Black people are nearly 3 times more likely than white people to be killed by police, and nearly 5 times more likely to be killed while unarmed. On average, Black Americans are exposed to 4 police killings in their state of residence a year. The mental health harm caused by the police killings of unarmed Blacks is nearly as large as the mental health struggles associated with diabetes. When I read this article in February of 2020, George Floyd was still alive and we hadn't lost John Lewis yet. In the first months of the coronavirus pandemic, New York was the epicenter, plagued by staggering death tolls, which peaked at more than 7 times normal, reported the New York Times. But Black and brown, no, that was an undercount. We see a Latina sister post a picture of her brother on patch.com, and we hear her sobbing and screaming. He's having symptoms of COVID-19, but emergency room personnel sent him home to self-isolate and told him to come back in a week. Go isolate in your basement for 7 days, they said, and come back and we'll test you. But of course, in 7 days, he's dead. EMTs will remove his corpse from his bedroom floor, but his death is not listed as a COVID-19 death because he was never tested. I try to imagine Trump or one of his children being sent home untreated to isolate in his White House bunker and told to come back in a week. In this pandemic, who lived and who died had a lot to do with the color of their skin, their income, and their ability to access medical services. I am angry. We are still hearing the liar in chief. We are still hearing from the liar in chief that the virus will just go away, you know, with the hot weather. There are people who really thought Trump was just stupid, which he is, because it's almost inconceivable that someone would mismanage and minimize a response to what many have called the direst situation the world has faced since World War II, because he didn't want to hurt his chances for re-election, which is what he felt would have happened if he had admitted how bad the COVID pandemic was. I believe that if the over 200,000, 300,000 now people now dead from COVID-19 in America had been young white men, Trump would now be being brought up on criminal charges of genocide. But it wasn't young white men, it was people who looked a lot like me, people who could have been me. I had a genuine fear of what would happen to me if I contracted COVID-19. I live in a Brooklyn zip code that is served by a safety net hospital. As I write this, a president who used voter suppression, collusion with foreign governments, and pandering to neo-Nazis and white supremacists, the lowest of America's low, to con his way into the White House, is being airlifted on my dime to receive some of the best health care on the planet for free, while he tries to dismantle what little health care Americans who are not rich have. He will not pay a dime for this health care. He will not be held liable for knowingly exposing hundreds of people at an event that is being called a super spreader, which he held indoors at the White House. He will not pay. Many lawmakers at his super spreader event receive free health care. A doctor at one of New York's safety net hospitals, so-called because they serve the poor, spoke on condition of anonymity when he recalled a night when he had 3 patients who needed to be intubated. When he called the ICU, he was told there was only space for one. One man was in his mid-40s. The other 2 were over 70. The 2 in their 70s were left to die. Who lives and who dies? Who gets airlifted and who gets shunted aside? The hospital in my zip code is a safety net hospital. It's likely where I would have been taken if I had gotten sick. It could have been me with a white man in a white coat deciding I would live or die. I am 70, the age of the 2 patients left to die. At the height of the pandemic here in what was the epicenter, had I, who paid the taxes that paid for the president to be airlifted to the hospital, that paid for his experimental drugs in his hospital stay, had I gotten sick, there's a real possibility I would have died on the hospital floor, been bundled into trash bags, placed in a refrigerated truck, and transported to a mass grave. I am enraged. George Floyd's death was one of the approximately 300 killings of Blacks by police each year. Where I grew up in Los Angeles smoking Marlboro cigarettes and Cool cigarettes, there was a cigarette jingle for a popular brand of cigarettes that shows a bright-toothed white woman in her 1950s dress, and she is smoking a cigarette. This is before we know what the tobacco companies have known for years, that the cigarettes will kill us. The jingle under her suavely dressed body reads, "Let's smoke a Lucky Strike tonight." It's in Los Angeles in the 1960s, some members of the Los Angeles Police Department substituting the word kill for smoke and a nigga for a lucky strike are recorded beginning their tour of duty singing, "Let's shoot a nigga tonight." There's a sense of thrill killing. These were not difficult encounters where cops were confused and up against the wall. This is a landscape where the police department in the 1960s is composed of white Southern transplants, hardcore racists who left the precinct to go on duty with the idea of murdering a Black man. I grew up with this litany of Black death, 50 years, name after name, autopsy report after autopsy report. Depression is beginning to set in. But then there's a rumbling outside my window, the window where I first heard the loud, obscene cacophony of ambulance sirens. I look out the window and there are thousands of people streaming down Flatbush Avenue Extension. They have taken over the street and completely stopped traffic. I open my window to the sound of, whose streets? Our streets. Say his name, George Floyd. say his name, George Floyd. Thank you for listening.
We need an all unmute on that, please. We need an all unmute. Everybody.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank
So
you.
true, so true.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So powerful.
Yes. Very powerful.
Let the church say amen.
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 We can all go home now. Wait a minute, we all home. We can all like lay back, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you is not even enough. Ashe, whatever the words of greetings and thanks, whatever languages you know, we can drop them here. I'm filled. I'm filled. I'm filled. So now we've gotten out of this cocoon. We're about to spread our wings. We're about to fly away, but fly to a safe branch because you don't want to fall off and hit your head. Some people have fallen along the way, and it's our time to pick them up, get them back on their feet. Our nation is just about falling apart. But we have, of course, an opportunity to what? Do something different. What's the date? November 3rd. Part of our nation is a little bit of trouble. Part of our Black nation is on a pedestal right now. And what we're going to do about it? How are we going to make the Black nation rise with everybody in this space, everybody listening, everybody that we can touch? We're going to hear just what we can do from our next person on deck. And that's Baba Brother D, Nubian. Brother D, simply put, is a Black activist for over 5 decades. Now, if that's the only thing on the paper, that of course does not surmise or summarize who he is and what he does. I will tell you that whether or not you are in the aisles with him, or you are sitting having tea, or you are sitting having a discussion, he will ask you, what are you doing about community? How are you getting together and moving forward the needle? What are you doing about organizing? Brother D, it's on you.
I want to ask if there's several people who your background is quiet, you can unmute so you can help out with the responses, because some of y'all know we like doing some call and response. No, Imani, I have not been in this for 50 years. Next year we'll make 50 years. And this coming December will be 41 years since I first did this piece. Let's go. If you want to know the truth, and that's a fact, let me hear you say, and you know that.
And you know that.
You dibby dies and so socialized, but how we going to make the Black nation rise? While you party down, yelling, shock the house. Get down, rock, shock the house. The Ku Klux Klan is on the loose, training their kids in machine gun use. Okay, everything has its place and time. We can rock the house too while we shock your mind. We can't brag and we can't boast, producing neither bread nor butter for our breakfast toast. Look at all the things that could prove the point. Sisters in the discos, brothers in the joint, while you dibby dies and so socialized.
How you gonna make
The Black nation
right.
People call me Brother D, and I'm here to shed some light. Bring the truth right on down to earth from where it once was out of sight. But before I continue, just let me say that this is not my ego soup. I sat down and thought, and I wrote this verse in the interest of the group. Come on, my people, can't you see what's really going on? Unemployment's high, the housing's bad, and the schools are teaching wrong. Cancer from the water, pollution in the air, but you partying hard like you just don't care. Wake up, y'all. You know that ain't right, because that hurts everybody, black or white. Winter's cold, can't get no heat, just move your body to the beat. When they take us on a disco ride, get high and chill, you're pacified. Our youth acting like the living dead, ain't talking about the body, talking about the head. Space out, y'all, to the disco rhyme. Moving to the rhythm, but you're wasting time. Stop and think, well, do you know what's real? Well, let me educate you to the real deal. The media is telling lies, the devil taking off his disguise, and we're killing us in the streets while we pay more for food that's cheap. And all you want to do is so socialize.
How you gonna make a black nation rise?
Remember the so-called Indian? Look what they did to him. Maybe they'll do that to us. Dare to struggle, dare to win. I mean, damn. Get out of your seat. We say, damn. Get on your feet. We say, damn. And we'll repeat. We say, damn. We're of defeat. Damn. No more sitting around. We say, damn. It's time for throwing down. Damn. Let's even the circle. We fired up and won't take no more. We fired up.
Won't take no more.
Fired up.
Won't take no more.
It up.
Won't take no more.
Don't take no more.
You won't take no more.
Some stomach cramps like America's got concentration camps. People like Malcolm lived and died, warning us about genocide. While we partying on and on, the others may be hot by the break of dawn. You party maybe stay soon when they rounding niggas up in the afternoon. And you start to wonder, are the people dumb? Well, Martin Luther King said, we'll overcome, but how? We're gonna make the black nation rise when all you want to do is dibby dies. No, brothers, it's not like that. Gonna rap for the people, tell them where it's at. Like Elijah showed us how to pool our wealth, collectively we must do for self. Don Pedro Abisu Campos, he gave his life fighting for Puerto Rico to be free while we fight each other without a fear. But fight the system you never dare. Well, if you ain't down, we'll get you slipped first, because you slow us down just like a curse. Bob Marley's spirit we can't let die. Put a message in our music for our eye and eye. Service for our people who we must redeem, like Coltrane's horn blowing love supreme. We heard what Marcus Garvey said, and we can't stand still. He said, up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. Rising up, it won't take no more. We're rising up.
Won't take no more.
Yeah. Won't take no more.
America was built, understand, by stolen labor on stolen land. Take a second thought as you clap and stamp. Can you rock the house from inside the camp as you move into the beat to the early light? This country's moving to the right. Prepare now or get high and wait, because it ain't no party in a police state. Blessed are we who dare to be free. Gotta change the way we behave. Gotta sacrifice for a righteous cause or remain as passive slaves. We're not anti any other racial group, just understand we pro-black. And we're against any one thing that tries to hold us back. So think, but don't take too long because the time is getting late. And MCs, if you got a mic, it's your job to educate. Well, I know my voice is not rated X. Didn't talk about money or talk about sex. Didn't talk about clothes or cars and things. And you might be tired of my lecturing. But while we dance and while we sing, you want to do just one thing. While Dibby dies and so socialize. Are you
going to make the Black Nation rise?
Dibby dies and so socialize. How are you
gonna make a black nation rise?
Make the black nation rise. Agitate, educate, organize. How are we going to make the black nation rise? Organize, agitate, educate,
organize.
Organize, agitate, educate,
organize. How you gonna make a black nation rise?
Agitate, educate, organize.
Organize.
Thank you.
Damn.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Definitely snaps.
Thank you.
That was fabulous. This is phenomenal. Can you imagine like how much we have moved and grown and like blossomed and broken through all of this during these last 2 hours? We've actually been on for 2 hours. It's amazing. Can you imagine? Guess what? We're wrapping this up. We're on the way home. We are going to, I know. Please, now, if those of you who did not know, that he is the owner, the designer, the creator of that piece, which is on YouTube, and it is called what?
How you gonna make a Black nation rise?
Find it on YouTube. Give it some play. Share it with people that you know. Share it with people who really need to know, please. Okay, thank you, because we're here to move people. We're here to transform. Creative Black voices from the Co-op. We are going to wrap up right now. We're going to circle right back where we started from, which is with Third Realm Visions. Third Realm Visions, are you going to bring us home? You're going to bring us home. Time to wrap this up. Third Realm Visions, you're on. Oh, you are muted. You guys got to unmute yourself. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. This last song we're gonna do is called Somerville. And thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much. That was called Somerville. And you can find us on Instagram at Third3RD Realm REALM Visions VISIONS. Third Realm Visions. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
No.
Well, thank you.
You so much. So folks, I hope you knew and you recognize that we started with the youth, went through the eldership, the wise ones, and we returned to the youth. Of course, we are here not just to live this work and live this transformative information, but to also pass it on to who? Those young folks right there. We have a couple more decades on this earth, but they're the ones that are going to carry it through. So Black Voices, showcasing Black creativity at the Co-op at a time of critical dialogue and transformation. Let's give one more time and snap it up. Everybody can unmute. Everyone can unmute, unmute, unmute. If there is a word that you can drop, whether it be verbally or in the chat, what would that word be?
Thank you.
Yes.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Grateful.
Let's do it again.
2021.
Yes.
Peace and blessings to everyone here. My name is Imani. I always say my role at the co-op is that I am an orientation leader. And so I say to everyone who joins the co-op, I'll see you in the aisles. Have a good night.
Nice.
Good job, Imani.
Peace.
Thank you.
Happy Black Solidarity Day.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, and look to the chat.
Happy Black Solidarity Day.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Amazing talents we have at the co-op.
Please make sure that you take people's contact information, support them, especially our young people who are trying to figure out their creative voices and grow. All the artists who are here, follow them if they have IG or FB or Twitter or YouTube or whatever. Let's share the love and share their transformative work to those who have yet to hear their Black voices. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Everyone. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Imani for hosting.